We hold these truths to be self-evident
that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by the Creator with certain alien intellectual rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
2, 1, action! What exactly are we talking about? I mean, we started this off with these big red letters, and those don't exactly say much about rights or responsibilities.
But wait, don't they? They're the preamble in the Declaration of Independence, which ties into our project because of the line life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, which emphasizes that U.S. citizens have a right to these fundamentals. You can kind of consider them our foundational rights: to be alive, to be free, and to be happy.
This was the first document conveying our ideas for the foundation of the United States. The Constitution was made based on these ideals, and as the United States grew, so did our education. Public schools have been an integral part of American society since the 1830s. By 1918, all states had passed school attendance legislation. Schools in all 50 states today require children to go to school.
The real reason we're talking about public schools is because safety has always been a concern. We need to know our rights, more specifically how citizens in the U.S. have a right to safe public schools, and how the U.S. government has a responsibility to provide for physically safe public schools.
Schools need to implement stronger security measures. Unauthorized individuals entering campuses pose a significant risk to the safety of students and staff. Furthermore, weapons are a serious threat to all within our schools, making an incredible impact. Students and staff members within public schools have a right to their physical safety and well-being, and the government has a responsibility to provide for them. It is lives, not statistics.
Our definition of school safety is when students in school and school-related activities are safe from violent, threats, harassment, and general disruption to their well-being.
The first problem we would like to bring up is intruders and what regulations are for who enters the building.
The majority of those who died today were children, beautiful little kids between the ages of 5 and 10 years
The
old.
Sandy Hook shooting left the United States reeling with its implications. In the investigation after the shooting, they found this. The testimony and other evidence presented to the commission reveals that there has never been an event in which an active shooter breached a locked classroom door.
This caused an uproar, spurring the U.S. to create more door regulations. In July 2016, the National Association of Fire Marshals released a checklist for all door regulations within the United States.
This random guy walked in, he was like, I'm here for Grubhub, right? And he kind of just walked into the school, and it was really scary because my little brother goes there and he means like everything to me, you know?
Parents are concerned, and they have every right to be. According to a study conducted in 2023, 45% of parents with a child attending kindergarten up to the 4th grade in the United States were very concerned about a violent intruder entering their child's school.
How are these incidents happening? This may be why. At many schools, there's little to no ID verification for students entering the building, or parents and guardians who need to pick up their children during the day. Studies from the National Center of Education Statistics found that only 15% of high school students are required to wear badges or picture IDs.
This means it is incredibly easy for someone who is at the school for the wrong reasons to enter the building.
Students visiting other schools, and the reason that's hard to identify is because students blend in with students. And so if they come in with a backpack, they can just walk in with other students in the morning and blend in with everybody else.
There are countries such as Poland, South Korea, and India that require students to display their IDs on a lanyard, which is important because IDs not only help to verify student identity and increase accountability, but also enhance school safety, improve emergency response, and increase overall efficiency. One of the most important and pressing issues is gun rights. This has been the topic of constant debate, but we have a simple answer. We need to restrict gun usage and licensing. In 2024, firearms were the leading cause of death in children.
Better regulations and gun control would be the single best way to make schools safer.
The most recent large-scale incident
was the Appalachia High School shooting in Georgia, September 4th, 2024. The 2 Appalachia High School students and 2 teachers were killed in the incident. 9 additional people, 8 students and 1 teacher, were severely injured. Colt Gray, age 14, was a student at the school and was arrested and charged with murder.
This reflects another topic that has been prevalent in shootings across the U.S., students being the ones to fire. From 1970 to 2022, a study conducted found that 43% of times a gun was brandished or fired on school property, it was done by a student.
Colin Gray, Colt's father, was arrested on multiple charges for knowingly allowing his son to have the weapon. According to an article by the Sandy Hook Promise, 68% of shootings were done with guns taken from the shooter's home or the friend or relative's home.
An estimated 4.6 million American children live in a home where at least one gun is kept loaded and unlocked. Nearly half of all parents with a weapon in the home wrongly believe their children don't know where the gun is stored.
One of the most relaxed places in the U.S. with gun restrictions is Georgia, ranked 46th place for gun law strength in the U.S. And this is also where the Appalachia High School shooting took place.
Because of this, we can see direct results. This map shows how many lives were lost due to gun violence. With changes such as increasing regulations on gun permits and how children can get guns, we can save so many kids' lives across the U.S.
Another thing is the role school resource officers play in the school environment. SROs, or school resource officers, are a career law enforcement assigned in a community policing capacity to a local education agency. This is distinguished from safety officers, as they are not police officers and don't carry the same physical authority as SROs.
About 45% of schools from the 2021 to 2022 school year had an SRO who routinely carried a firearm. Even worse, an article explains, we find introducing a new SRO to a school increases the reported number of gun-related offenses by 0.3 incidents per 500 students, a 195% increase from average. Rather than SROs who increase shootings, we need security guards who are unarmed to decrease violence.
Okay, this explains our reasoning, but why?
What do you mean, why?
Like, why do we care? Why should they care?
We care because we're 2 13-year-old kids. This affects our lives directly. We have personal goals and dreams, and our generation is the future. But why should you care?
Children's minds are highly absorbent. An unsafe environment can harm academic performance, while a secure one enhances focus, information retention, and classroom engagement. Starting in kindergarten, children are taught lockdown and how to protect their vital organs.
Close your eyes for a moment and imagine you're a 4 or 5-year-old kid. Do it, I'm serious. You're sitting in your classroom doing kindergartner things, and you hear this. Okay, now open your eyes and go back to normal.
Children's emotional well-being and social development can be significantly hindered when they are exposed to violence or trauma in their surroundings. These traumatic situations can cause adverse childhood experiences, or ACEs. According to the CDC, ACEs can down the road lead to substance abuse, mental health problems, chronic health problems, suicide, and much more.
Some parents are so concerned about their child's safety that they choose to homeschool. In fact, 80% of all caregivers who homeschool due in some manner to a concern about school environment, such as safety, drugs, or negative peer pressure.
But not everyone can homeschool, and if the government requires students to go to school, they need to make sure that the schools are not going to lead to death.
And if you think this is harsh or we're being too vulgar, it's lives, not statistics. Every day, 12 children die from gun violence in the U.S. alone. Another 32 are shot and injured per day.
We need to end this. We need to implement stronger security measures, stop letting strangers in, and threats to the school, and stop allowing weapons. We need to start making students wear IDs, there's metal detectors at entrances, start background checking gun owners and requiring safer storage places for guns and weapons.
There are solutions. We cannot live in a society that chooses not to protect its youth because it's more convenient to ignore the problems than fix them. It's lives, not statistics.
How many will now die? And really we all know that it won't be the last time. This is America now, it's terrible how we